Hello, you absolute legends. Games Done Quick is the biggest speedrunning event in the world, a week-long marathon where speedrunners from all over the world come together in celebration of the hobby and to demonstrate the amazing strategies their communities have developed over the years. A wide spectrum of games, from the most popular today to games you've never heard of, are speedrun while commentators explain what's happening and provide expert insight. While at its core, Games Done Quick is an exhibition of speedrunning, its mission is to raise money for charity, which it does very well, raising millions each year for numerous causes. For the first 10 years of its life, Games Done Quick was a strictly in-person event. Gamers had to physically go to the event in order to run their game. However, after the beginning of the pandemic, Games Done Quick would switch their event to completely online. This meant that a runner could now perform their speedrun at home, and it would be streamed to the Games Done Quick channel. Thankfully, this really didn't diminish the event in any big way. The viewers continued to watch, and the money was still being raised at an amazing rate. But it did open the door for something more sinister. In the past, players would speedrun their game directly in front of GDQ staff and other speedrunners, making it essentially impossible to cheat. When someone plays from home, the story is different. No one is there to verify what's happening, and a player could in theory stream anything to the main channel, like perhaps a pre-recorded video. Luckily, this didn't seem to be an issue, at least until now. On the 30th of June, the speedrunner Mecharazium, who was playing remotely from Russia, streamed a previously recorded, spliced fake speedrun and pretended to play. And it wasn't just a standard run-of-the-mill speedrun you would expect at a live marathon. It was a new world record. This is crazy and truly bizarre for many reasons, which we will discuss in the video, not least of which is the fact that he did this at a charity event. But what's even crazier is what happened after he cheated, and it will blow your mind. In today's video, we will take a look at what went down, and I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts about what happened in the aftermath. I really hope you enjoy. Now, legends, I'm very excited to announce this video's sponsor, Geology. I have an embarrassing confession to make. I am extremely lazy when it comes to washing my face, and my wife always complains that my face looks and feels oily and dirty. So the lesson I learned is that if you don't take care of your face, people notice. That's why you should be using Geology. Geology is a 9-time award-winning men's skincare company with over 5,000 5-star reviews. All you have to do is take a quick 30-second quiz outlining your goals, and Geology will provide you with an easy-to-follow regimen that is shipped directly to your door. Personally, I told Geology I wanted to fix my oily skin and help with the dark patches under my eyes. So they sent me a daily face wash and daily cream, plus their award-winning eye cream. The effects were immediately noticeable, and as soon as I started using the products, my skin felt great. If you go to geology.com or click the link in the description and take their free skincare quiz, you will save up to 50% off on a 30-day trial. So please click the link in the description and start giving your face the love it deserves. Games Done Quick is a speedrunning marathon, and marathons are a vastly different environment than what speedrunners typically have to deal with. Generally, speedrunning is about getting, quote-unquote, the run. Runners will spend hundreds or thousands of hours, weeks, months, and even years doing the same thing over and over again trying to beat their personal best, or maybe, if they are lucky, the world record. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter if they fail any particular run because they can simply start over and try again. But in a marathon setting, players only get a single chance, performing what runners call a no-reset run. This means they aren't allowed to restart if something goes wrong. They must play from start to finish in a single attempt. This increases the pressure dramatically and causes a problem that a lot of runners experience, which is to stress too much over getting a good run. Of course, it's natural to want to perform well, but the reality is that if you only have one opportunity, the run is probably going to be a lot worse than your best. There is a reason runners can spend years trying to get a world record. They are incredibly difficult. In any specific run, many things can and do go wrong, including simply getting bad luck from the game, which is out of your control. This is why many runners will change their strategies to better suit a marathon environment. They will use less risky strategies, and they may also choose techniques that are a bit easier to perform, even if they are a bit slower. It has to be said, though, that many runners worry far too much about performing well. If you are performing at a charity event and your biggest concern is how fast your run is, I think you're probably missing the point. At the end of the day, it should be about having a good time, showing some cool tricks and techniques that your community has found, and being grateful that you can take part in an event that is doing a lot of good for the community. No one in their right mind expects a runner at a marathon to perform an amazing speedrun. It just goes against everything people understand about the hobby, which is that fast runs take a lot of effort and a lot of time to achieve. And when you do have speedrunners thinking that their run needs to be amazing, you ultimately get what happened at Summer Games Done Quick this year: a player faking a world record. The runner Mecharazium, or Mecha for short, was scheduled to speedrun Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and this run went exactly as you'd predict it would. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. It was 3 minutes slower than the world record, but in a run of that length, being just short of an hour, it's really nothing to complain about. It was the textbook kind of run you would see at every marathon. And the reason this speedrun is what you would expect is because it was legitimate. He was actually playing. Mecha wasn't happy though, and just listen to how he talks immediately afterwards.
Do we have 57:45.
57:45, still underestimate, boyo. Good job.
Yes.
Good job.
I don't think this run's good. Well, I mean, look, I've choked. Yes, I played badly. Sorry. I could have done better. But, I mean, I haven't slept. I'm sleep deprived for quite a while.
Despite the commentators giving him props for the run, he apologizes for quote-unquote playing badly, and makes excuses for why the run wasn't good. It is obvious that he cares far too much about how impressive his run should have been. And as I talked about before, this type of unrealistic and misguided thinking about marathon runs is a problem, and it led directly to what happened next. Even though Mecha's original scheduled run was legit, he wasn't finished playing yet. As part of the efforts to raise money, Games Done Quick also gives donation incentives for extra challenges. In this case, they put up an incentive for Mecha to play the Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance DLC, Blade Wolf. In order to be successful, viewers would need to donate $25,000 for him to speedrun the DLC, and of course, the goal was met. The Blade Wolf DLC is not a long speedrun by any means, coming in well below 10 minutes, which makes Mecha's decision even stranger. He had just finished a 1-hour speedrun, but Mecha didn't really want to play for another 7 minutes or so. Even though viewers and supporters had raised $25,000, Mecha had a different idea. Over a month earlier, he had crafted a spliced run of the DLC. He had tried certain sections of the speedrun over and over until he did them very well, and then stitched them together with video editing software. The world record for a speedrun of this DLC stood at 7 minutes and 20 seconds. The run that Mecha had crafted was 6 minutes and 57 seconds, beating the current world record substantially. Instead of actually playing, Mecha would stream the video of his pre-recorded spliced run and pretend he was playing. Knowing what we know now about this run, it's really hard to watch. Mecha really tries to sell the fact that he's actually playing the game. He pretends that things almost go wrong, knowing full well they won't.
No. Perfect. And we're going to touch the panel without... Do not kill me, I'm going to smother you if you do. Let's go.
He even talks himself up about how good he is playing, calling himself a god gamer.
And every single attack of Kamsin will kill us. I'm not using any safety strategies because I am a god gamer.
At the end, he asks what the final time is and pretends to act shocked that it's a world record.
Time. Can you tell me the time?
Looks like a 6:55.
Holy shit. Kind of like a world record. Yes.
Now, I have to say, it's one thing to splice a speedrun and upload it to YouTube or a rankings page, it's something else entirely to get in front of tens of thousands of people live and to lie to them by pretending to speedrun a game. I think it takes an extra special level of psychopathy to do something like that. In my many years of experience, this kind of thing is extremely rare, and I've always found it to be much more bizarre than merely uploading a fake run to a rankings. The act of physically pretending to play is just crazy to me, and I don't understand how someone could do it. Afterwards, Mecha went on a very discombobulated rant that I really can't understand, even on repeat viewings.
Can you please use the term I feel empty and deranged. Denied one last epiphany and ushered from the stage. We won't be meeting again, I think. Some people just want to see this world burn. Good night. There will be more godless nights.
Mecha's entire performance, even during his legitimate speedrun, did seem weird to me, but that's not really surprising. I think you'd have to be a bit weird in the first place to do what he did. No one immediately noticed or even considered the possibility that he wasn't playing, but there were some pretty obvious signs that something wasn't quite right during the run. For example, during his real speedrun, you can clearly hear him using his keyboard and mouse, but during his DLC run, his keyboard was completely silent.
Chapter. But before we kick it over to donations, just to prime you for what's ahead, we have to walk through that entire...
each of the parry is extremely important to us, and every single attack of Kamsin will kill us.
He even took his hand off the mouse at one point, and in order to recover from this, claimed that he had used his opposite hand to move it during this brief moment.
It's actually pretty hard to get past this grab because he has an eyes on his on his head, and obviously moving the mouse with my left hand was a different experience.
Several days after the run, Mecha reached out to GDQ admin and advised them that the run was a pre-recorded segmented run. He claimed that he changed his mind at the last second after switching saves. He noted some oddities about the run and appeared to apologize. However, as we will soon see, excluding the highlighted oddities about the run, essentially everything in this message is a complete lie, including the apology. Originally, people thought that Mecha came clean by choice, but that's not really what happened. The day after his run, it had already been confirmed that the run was spliced by the moderator, Dark Slayer, who realized that a checkpoint message that is supposed to appear was absent. This would only happen if it wasn't the first time playing through that section, indicating that it was a pre-recorded spliced run. So Mecha was basically forced to confess, or he would have been exposed by others. After his confession, GDQ banned Mecha from any future events and removed his run from their YouTube channel. They also made a public statement saying, "He contacted our staff with a document detailing that he had planned this for over a month, demonstrating this was planned and intentional. This is absolutely unacceptable and attempts to undermine the integrity of the speedrunning community that we love and support. We have removed Mecharazium's runs from our YouTube archive and will not permit him to run in the future." So after scamming donors out of $25,000 and pretending to play a fake speedrun at a charity event and the most beloved speedrunning marathon in the world, you would think that Mecha would be banned from the speedrunning community and people would go about their business. But that's not what happened. Remember when Mecha said multiple times that he wouldn't submit the run to the leaderboards? Well, that was a lie, because several days later, that's exactly what he did, and surprisingly, the run was accepted. Your immediate reaction would be to ask, how the hell is that possible? And it's due to a technicality. You see, while Mecha did pretend to play a regular speedrun, technically the video he made was a segmented speedrun, which is where speedrunners splice together multiple sections after repeatedly trying them. So instead of submitting the run to the regular leaderboard, he submitted the run as a segmented speedrun instead. And because the moderator believed it technically doesn't break the rules for a segmented speedrun, it was approved. It gets a little bit worse though. When you submit a speedrun to speedrun.com, you need to link a video of the speedrun. Now, obviously Mecha has the original video that he made. You know, the one he used to fake the speedrun at GDQ. But Mecha didn't use that video to prove his speedrun. No, he used footage from Games Done Quick, where he was pretending to play. This, in my mind, proves that Mecha is not sorry at all for what he did. If you had guilt about what you did, or felt any remorse or shame, why would you use the footage of you doing said thing, instead of just using the original footage? You wouldn't. The reality is that Mecha is proud of what he did, and he wanted to show it off. He wanted to promote his deception and use it as a trophy by displaying it on speedrun.com. And if you think I'm looking too deep into this, I haven't yet mentioned that Mecha has on multiple occasions since defended his actions. On Reddit, he claimed that people weren't thinking outside of the box enough and weren't connecting the dots. And yes, at this point he was still claiming that he wasn't going to submit the run to the leaderboards. What's more shocking to me though is that a moderator allowed this to happen, essentially endorsing Mecha's actions. By allowing this particular run on the ranks, you are in effect condoning what happened. When I found out, I couldn't believe it. I needed to find out what was going on, so a good friend of mine, Apache Smash, got me in touch with one of the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance moderators, Valeria, and to her credit, she was extremely nice and open. When I asked her why the run was on the ranks, she said that she had only just found out herself. So this was obviously not a reflection of all of the moderators and was likely a decision made by one person. Now, I want to stress heavily that even though I'm about to levy some criticism at the moderation team, absolutely no one should ever harass or even contact any of the moderation team at all in regards to this situation. If you do have an opinion, you can leave a comment under this video, and the moderators can choose whether or not they want to read them. I was very appreciative of the fact that Valeria was willing to speak with me, and as she didn't make the decision herself, I asked her to approach the moderation team to make sure they were all on board with the decision. I asked her to provide the moderation team with 3 things to consider, and I made it clear to her, as I make it clear now, that I don't speak from authority and I don't speedrun the game, so I really don't feel entitled and think my opinion is worth more than anyone else's. But this is my opinion, and I asked her to bring it to the team. I asked them to consider removing the run from the ranks. If they weren't willing to do that, I asked them to consider removing the footage from Games Done Quick, as that was extremely disrespectful. And failing that, I asked them to at least make a public statement condemning Mecha's actions, as from an outside perspective, it appeared as though they approve of what he did. The moderation team refused to do all 3. Make of that what you will. If you look at the speedrun today, you will notice the video has changed and is now the original footage. This isn't because Mecha or the moderation team decided to change it, it only happened because Games Done Quick found out and had to step in and take down the video. The video linked showing the original run was uploaded in May, confirming that Mecha had been planning this for at least a month in advance. I simply have no idea how a speedrunner can scam donors out of $25,000, cheat during a charity marathon, make a joke out of the entire thing, and not only face no consequences, but have that very same speedrun approved on the official leaderboards. My mind is blown, and I genuinely feel sorry for other speedrunners of that game who hate what Mecha did and don't want to be associated with it. What's interesting though is that Mecha was actually banned from the community for the rest of the Metal Gear games, but the one particular game in which he cheated is the one game in which he faced no consequences, which I think is just a reflection of that one community and is not indicative of the speedrunning community as a whole. I'm pretty sure that most other communities would have banned him outright, or at the very least, not approved that particular run. I am very curious to hear what your opinions are on this, so please let me and everyone else know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.